Before I begin the video, I want to thank each and every one of you who are helping me to get to 200 subscribers in less than 5 months, and it really means a lot to me. And because of that, I'll be doing a Q&A fairly soon. Make sure to leave your comments down below, leave a question, and I'll be shouting you out in that video with the question and answering them pretty soon. I just saw Gemini Man this past weekend, so now it's time to talk Simply Cinema. Hello everyone, I hope you're having a cinematastic day. I'm Josh, this is Simply Cinema, and before we begin, make sure to comment down below your thoughts on this movie, because it was a little bit of a divisive movie, a little bit of a disappointing movie when you look at the Rotten Tomatoes score, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially if you really enjoyed it, and let's have a nice, respectful discussion down in comments. But without further ado, let's begin. Gemini Man tells the story of Henry Brogen, a retired assassin who is suddenly being targeted by this mysterious operative, and therefore he has to figure out what's going on. And he figures out there's a younger clone version of himself that he has to face and deal with. And of course, there's the positives. The main actor we get in this is Will Smith, and actually the CGI to make the younger version of Will Smith is done pretty well. It's actually pretty believable. It looks like there's actually two of Will Smith in the character of Henry Brogen, and it's just an interesting concept that it shows the performance of Will Smith doing a really good job as Henry Brogen and as the Gemini Man, and the concept plays out pretty well with how it is, and Will Smith's acting is done well. First, with Will Smith, you get some good fun action, and it was all done fairly well in the way it was executed, and it was just a ton of fun in a lot of different moments where they had that intense action, and the story played out fairly well for what it was trying to be. Moving on to the negatives, unfortunately, with the expectations of the type of story this is trying to tell, it really just doesn't land as well as you hope it to. There's not quite as much action as you hope, especially as it presented in the trailer. It just doesn't really flow as consistently as you would hope to. And especially in the last 20 minutes, unfortunately, some of the CGI just fell down the drain. They didn't seem to really have as much budget left whenever they were trying to produce the ending, or maybe they were like running out of time or something, because it really wasn't just as fleshed out as most of the story played out. And some of the twists were kind of predictable, and even when they weren't, it sort of left you wanting more from that twist because of the potential that it could have been used with. And though the concept of having a Gemini Man, a younger version of a trained assassin, especially played by Will Smith, you just don't get as much as you want. This concept is not done just too right. It's more of a basic action movie with only a few good moments than an over-the-top good story and good concept with fun action. But like I said, those are my thoughts on this film, and I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of this. Was it good? Was it bad? Or somewhere in between? And I'd have to rate it simply 6 out of 10. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you're new here, and also be sure to check out some of these other videos on the right hand side of the screen, and I'll be back for more movie reviews, rankings, and more.